what it's designed to do is really kind of address a lot more of the complex call routing needs that customers typically have. You don't always want calls coming into your company main number to route to your auto attendant like they do today. Sometimes you want them to route off to an administrator, or maybe after hours you want calls routing off to an after hours service or something like that. And that's where these advanced call routing rules come into play. And these are going to be based on schedules. So there's actually a whole different section in here now that you're going to build schedules with, and we'll go through how to use that particular feature. The nice thing is once you create a schedule, like you create a business hour schedule, you can use that anywhere on any of the different rules, that being any auto attendant, any hunt group, or any call center queue. So you don't have to keep rebuilding the business hours schedule over and over again like you do today. In terms of usage, I talked about the fact that there's schedules, so that's really where the whole thing starts. You need to go build a set of schedules. You can think about all the schedules that kind of drive your business, whether that's going to be business hours, after hours. You may have a tech support group or something that works 7 to 7 instead of 8 to 5, so you may want to schedule for that group, and any other schedule that you think you might want to put some rules around. Once you've got the schedules in place, then what you wind up doing is going into your auto attendants, your hunt groups, and your call center queues, and at that point you'll make some decisions about what you want the calls that come to those particular services to do. By default, they're always going to route to that particular service, whether it's an auto attendant or whatever. The only time you want to create a rule is if you've got something that winds up being an exception to the call coming into the auto attendant, you want it to route somewhere else. So, and the routes are going to be set up based on a schedule, so they're automated. Once you put that in place, it's going to do that same thing based on that schedule. And you can route that destination. It could be other extensions. For instance, your auto attendant, it could route off to a hunt group for all that matters. It could be external numbers, so you may have an after-hours answering service that you want your main number routed to. Or it could be star codes, and this is really important when you get into things like star 55. You want to route it off to a voicemail, and I'll show you some examples of these. Now, where would you use this, right? So here's some common scenarios that we typically run into. So, for instance, you've got a customer they're a people company. They want a live person to answer the calls, not that auto attendant. So in this particular case, then you'd wind up creating a business hours schedule, and during business hours you route the calls to the admin. And then during anything that's not business hours, it routes back to the auto attendant. You may have a sales group that, after hours you want it to route off to an external number. You can do that. You could have something as complex as, let's say you've got, a couple different groups that have on-call cell phones. They're in 2 different queues. And so you might want to put some rules on your tech support queue that says, an after hours on Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, it routes to this queue. And on Tuesday, Thursday, it routes to this other one. So you can create all those kinds of complex rules as well. During holidays, you could have your auto attendants, your main number pointing at your auto attendant, go have it route off to a voicemail box with a greeting on it. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. Pretty much the scenarios are probably somewhat unlimited in terms of what you can imagine they could do.